Alrighty, so we're going to finish 8.3 today. So I am on the second time you see this graph. I think it's the third page. Okay. And sorry, that's Ben in the background. So first thing is you need to have two highlighters again. And again, I'm going to show both notations the whole way through. Okay, so you're going to see everything kind of twice. So let's talk about extrema. Extrema is a really fancy word for maximums and minimums. And maximums and minimums are when you have a hill or a valley. Okay, so you can have more than one on a graph. So we have the relative maximums and minimums. That's just any time we have a hill or a valley. And then we have the absolute max and absolute min. That's the highest hill or the lowest valley. Okay, the tallest point and the lowest point. So I'm looking here, and this is the only time that we care about y values. All other times we've only used x values. So when we go back to increasing and decreasing, we'll go back to using x values using the domain. Okay. Extrema is the only time we use y values because we're talking about the height, right? We're talking about up and down, and that's y. So I'm looking at my graph, and I see I've got a hill right here, a hill right here, and another one. And I have a couple of valleys as well, a couple swoops. So I care about y values. So let's do the y values. This -7 is the x, or the x value, so I want the y value. Y value is 0. My first hill as I'm going from left to right is at 0. My next is at -2, right here. And my last is at 5. Now delta math is going to want the absolute max, which is going to be the tallest. So I'm looking at my numbers and I'm like, oh, 5 is the biggest. That's what I would put in a delta math. Okay. Your valleys are -6 and -5, and your absolute min is going to be the smallest min, which is -6. Okay. So I think that's on the newer side, but that's not anything too crazy. Let's talk about increasing and decreasing. This is where you need your highlighters. So I'm going to start in yellow. Oh, let's keep our pencil for a second. Increase means that's where your graph is going up. Okay, so with the highlighter, let's take a look. I'm going up right here. So if I took my pen, you can see my pen move. You see how I'm going up and down because it's a bit of a squiggly line, right? Okay, we go from left to right, because that's how we read, right? We read left to right. So I'm going up here, and then I start going down and down and down until I hit this minimum, and then I go back up to the maximum, down and down and down till the minimum again, and then all the way up. That's where I'm increasing. Every time your pen goes up, that's where we're going to write. So let's start in interval notation. This is negative infinity, this is positive infinity. So we're going to go negative infinity to -7. Cool thing about increasing and decreasing is it's all parentheses or all less thans and greater thans. Okay? So if I'm doing interval notation, then I need my U for union because I have more highlighted pieces. So my next highlighted piece starts at -3. Remember, stay with x values. Please don't start going to the y values. We need the domain. So -3, and then I stop highlighting at -1. Union, one more piece, 4 to 7. Okay, we would write this as x is less than 7, or -3 less than x less than -1, or 4 less than x less than 7. So I did that with all less than signs because I put the first number as the smallest number and the second number as the bigger number. 4, 7, -3, -1. Okay. Decreasing is the exact opposite. It's every time that we're going down. So we are going to highlight in a different color. So switch your color. I'm going down in all my places I haven't highlighted yet. Okay. But notice every time I did that, my pen went down. Goes down. That is decreasing. Okay. And then we just have to say like where that is, right? So I started my highlighting blue at -7. I finished highlighting blue at -3. Union started again at -1, stopped at 4, started again at 7, positive, and then this goes on forever and ever. Even though it's going down, it's decreasing. That's what we're highlighting, right? It is going to the right because I'm talking about the domain. I'm talking about x values. I care about how it's going to the right, which is positive infinity. Okay, this in inequality notation is -7 less than x less than -3, or -1 less than x less than 4, or x is greater than 7. You can also write 7 less than x if you want to just say all less than signs. Okay, so that's how it's done. Last class we did positives and negatives. That was above the x-axis versus below. Now you have every time it's going up versus every time it's going down. First thing is maximums. Absolute maximum, that's the highest point, and when we're talking about tallest and lowest, then that's the y-axis. That's the up and down one, right? So 7 is my absolute maximum. And then this one's asking for the absolute minimum, so that's going to be -4. Okay. Increasing and decreasing. This one's asking for increasing. Remember, it's always just less thans and greater thans, or just parentheses, which is really nice for us because we don't have to think about it anymore. Increasing means where is it going up? So from left to right, I'm going up. Oop, I don't want a straight line though. I don't know what it's doing. And then it goes down and it kind of stalls again, and it goes, but it keeps going down. So we're not gonna talk about that at all. But we start going back up here, and then it goes down again. So where I've highlighted, I need to say what that is. In inequality notation first this time, my lowest is -infinity. So I'm going to say x is less than -6, because that's where I stop right here. So I'm saying everything less than -6, which is right. Yeah, I'm going to the left. Or I'm starting again at 1 and I'm ending at 5. This in interval notation is -infinity to -6, union 1 to 5. Second graph is decreasing. So where I'm decreasing, going up and up and up, and then right here I start going down and I stall, but that's okay. Then I stall again, but that's okay. I've been decreasing the whole time. But then I stop, and now I'm going back up, and then I start decreasing again. Okay, inequality notation first. I'm starting at -5, less than x, less than, I go and I go and I go until 3. If you were thinking -5, make sure you are staying in the domain. These questions ask for the domain. Okay, so make sure you're going for x values. Or I'm going up, And then right here at 5, I start going back down again forever. So I don't have an end. Okay, in interval notation, this is -5 to 3, union 5, 2. I know it's going down, but it's going to the right. That is positive infinity. Okay, try the homework out on your own. Email me if you have any questions, and I will see you guys on Tuesday.